Aloha everyone, Z808 here. Finally, Apex Season 5 have started. Long awaited, very excited. First weekend started out horrible, horrible, horrible. As you can see, first to win loss, and I'm gonna go over some of the games and why I think I lost. But I think some of the important things to kind of keep in mind is that it's all in the mindset. It's having the right mentality. One great thing about the first weekend is that if you can get to gold 3 or silver 3 or one of those where you can get rank protection, it is okay to lose until you feel good about it, learn from it, and then you can kind of come back. For me, I didn't definitely did not start out on the right foot, as my first match, my first qualifying match was with Hakul, season 4 top 16 player. I actually faced him quite a bit when I play my casual queue for Apex Arena, and I tend to lose mostly when I face him, and once in a while I get a lucky win. But very strong player, and don't really have a great time with him. So when I saw his box, I knew right away that it was him because I faced him quite a bit. So from the big bang, when I saw that reinforce is like, and oh my god, it's how cool. I mean, I just knew it. But anyways, as we go through the pick ban, I think he knew it was me as well, looking at my box. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip this for now. And as far as the team composition wise, I thought I had a pretty decent team, but I did realize that I don't have a dedicated healer. And for him, he has a very unique build, focused on AoE assassin, and the one big mistake I did was actually give him Sophia, and you'll see in a little bit the reason why. Sophia with her new accessories actually basically can act as a fraction buff where it gives you every single stat while not max, but one of the crucial ones, which is the defense stat, makes their characters very tanky. So we're as we engage, we move forward, get a little closer. My thought process is like, hey, if I can somehow snipe one of their characters with my Zarita, that would be ideal. So that's why I have set it up this way. But unfortunately for me, as I mentioned earlier, that extra defense will allow his character to survive. So in goes Zarita, even with backstab, wow, didn't do any damage. Even with the extra fixed damage at the end. So first, right off the bat, 1%, 148 life due to the extra defense from Sophia's buff. Very disappointing. So there goes Mazurita, unfortunately. So keep moving forward. I already knew I lost my Zarita because he can assassinate my Zarita with his. So I was already thinking, well, what can I do to counter attack? But I knew it was a uphill battle no matter what, just for the fact that he has a very strong Arian Rod, very strong, fully built, and is against my horse Landius. So it's gonna be challenging. And he knows that my Rachel has a new staff which can attack from 3 spots, so he's been very careful to stay out of range so that I can't heal my characters. I don't have a dedicated healer, so it's tough. Now here's the second part where I thought I wasn't going to be able to kill, but it was a trade, right? I had to heal my team up. Zarita makes the kill, and here comes my D-Lit, which I thought, hey, easy kill, right? With all those buffs, Unicorn going in on grass. Yeah, life hates me. Let's take a look. Earlier was 100 something HP. Now, hey, look at her! 62 HP, and where is she at? 0% HP. Why isn't she dead? What the? Yeah, anyways. So at this point, I already know I lost because now I would have to sacrifice a lot of characters, but ultimately I don't have a dedicated healer. I retreat, of course, but I mean, at this point, there's no way for me to really counter Arian Rod with the tank, with the healer. So with that said, lost cause, moving on. First game, big loss. Alright, moving on. So moving on to the second game of the season. I faced Angry Chicken. Angry Chicken, I actually played him quite a bit in War Arena. And he's a very strong player as well. I'm sure he's a Langrisser Rank player. I'm not sure if he was in the top 256, which I think he is. But in this particular match, I think I lost mostly due to my skill selection. So pick ban, I think, was actually fairly okay. But let's just see. My team composition has Luna with fraction buff for both D-Lit and for Licorice. However, I never learn from my lesson, right? I always give my opponent Zarita. So I think this game, I'm gonna lose because of her, and also due to RNG. But we'll take a look at what happens here. I think for me, whenever the beginning of a new season, not really understanding what the new meta is, and sort of out of practice, really not puts me in the right mentality. First game, huge loss to Hakul, already not feeling good, and now I'm just making excuses, right? But you know, as I move forward, I was hoping to have some RNG on my side to see if maybe if I set up correctly and RNG is on my side, I may be able to win. So let's take a look. And that was actually a huge mistake here. Let's take a look here. So let's go back. Like I said, my head wasn't really working. So I was here. I moved forward. For some odd reason, I thought that with you're trying to trigger a breeze, and I thought I would have enough actual movement to do something. But then I realized I'm actually one space out, where if I actually calculated correctly, or I thought I would have, I may have been able to kill the Zarita, and that could have helped me possibly secure a win. But then again, my head wasn't working, so I did a whole bunch of nothing. And with Alcazard, I already know that no matter what I do, she's gonna kill somebody. So if that's the case, I might as well charge in and hope for some good RNGs. So in goes with Licorice. Do some decent damage. Unfortunately, his Rachel is gonna basically heal his team close back to full. Wasn't able to kill my Licorice, but I don't think that mattered because here comes Reen. Termination Slash. Licorice still lived. However, this is where the RNG completely favored, right? So it's like, look, well, here she's gonna die no matter what because of Zarita. Right. However, I have Gospel on Luna, which was fine. However, attack down here, but the biggest problem is here. So I actually have silence, right? Passive, which is not really important. The silence is which is the one that really screws me over. Okay, let's see what happens from here. So here I am, trying to use mass heal, silence still there. And this is actually the other huge mistake that I make. I don't know why I moved there. I have tiers, accessories, so I should actually move right here, which should have given me another chance to remove a debuff from the lid, right? Because no matter what, Licorice is gonna die either from the next AoE or from Zarita. So I don't know what I was thinking. Again, head was not all there, so that's my second big mistake there. Move forward, take some damage, got a breeze, but still have my silence. Went in there, do a little, get my buffs back up, make sure my D-Lit is ready for attack. Hoping to remove, so my heal should have removed one, my tears would have removed another, but for the love of God, yeah, still there. So what can I say, right? Can't use the skill, which could help everybody become stronger with forest defense and also with heals, but unfortunately. And he's being clocked. And basically at this point I really didn't see any way to win. Can't break through his defense. He has Assassin that's basically gonna be able to pick me off one by one. And he also has a Claret, which is just gonna one-shot me the next turn. Because he has, of course, all the RNG and that proc. And at this point, doesn't make sense. 5 Platinum versus 3, no tank. Game over. GG. Alright. Play a few more games. I was actually got lucky with a win against Everblue. Last one to Kevin. And my last match against Hatsune Miku, I was able to win. So my qualifying matches, I believe I lost 3, won 2, and got into gold 3. Still, first game, actual point match in gold 3. Another really strong Langrisser Rank player, Juggerlaw. And at that point, I was already like dazed and disappointed, very, very sad. So I'm gonna make more mistakes. So let's see how it goes. The pick pan, I think for this one here, it was pretty straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and skip it for now. I actually quite like my picks. However, this is the match where, due to me not thinking straight, has me with the completely wrong skills. I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, I had Gospel and I still took Mass Protect because I was too scared of Yusuke. That really didn't make sense. But that's gonna cost me the game, and I'll show you in a second why. But also, again, I have no idea why I moved up so forward, but what I did wrong here is I didn't move the rest of my characters forward, and that is actually gonna cost me. That's one of the biggest mistakes. So I thought I was gonna be smart. It's like, hey, I understand that they have, or their characters are kind of staying back, getting ready. I'll set up my characters. I'll gonna again my Landius so that he can move back and protect all my characters from his Claret. But little did I forget that by using again, I'm actually gonna lose my turn order and give up going first. So this is that huge first mistake. So he just teleports his Zarita. Unfortunately for me, what that means is I'm gonna lose one of my biggest threats, which is my Eris. Bye bye, Eris. He didn't even get to go hit anything. And what's really sad is like I never get to play Eris in any of my games, most of my games. So that's just so disappointing. And again, I gave my opponent Zarita. And wait a minute, so what just happened there? Again, what the with the Zaritas, man? Okay, it's probably this the minus 20% damage taken, but still though. Oh, I just well, yeah, I did have anger, but unfortunately, I didn't have my psychic eruption, so yeah, that was quite disappointing. My Yusuke is, yeah. Anyways, light goes on. I was gonna be able to get up Zarita with my Luna. I mean, at this point, definitely still have a good chance, right? 2 damage dealer. He has Yusuke, I have Yusuke, I have Luna. And I have a healer, or at least I thought I had a healer, but I picked the wrong skills. So he's gonna come in with Claret. He doesn't do enough damage. But my problem is I don't have dedicated healing, so yeah. Just such a bad player. I mean, just not enough healing there. He's just gonna come mid war. No Landius. Again, 4 against 3. Oh, no, actually, he took my first life. But I think he's gonna finish me off, I believe. Oh, and that's disappointing too, right? 1491. Again, so close, yet so far. So if I killed, off the Claret, I may have a chance. But yep, not gonna happen, right? UC comes in, finishes Landius. He has a tank, 2 DPS, and a healer. Yeah. And of course, right? Look at that RNG. Let's look at that again. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, but with reflect damage and me not being close to 2 spaces from my ally, I didn't have enough stats to survive that. So yeah, game over. With that said, I continue to be a dumbass, lose to Bertokomu. Then I face a Gyuri 2P Hood, lost that game as well. I mean, at that point, I just felt so miserable. It's like, man, why do you even want to play Apex anymore? However, I was able to win one last match before the first slot was over. So I believe I played against, I believe it's Kurimi Mami is how you pronounce the name for this particular player. Very unique box, as you can see. Angelica there. I see that time fraction very strong. I also saw that he has Reen, and he or she has Reen and Aaron Rod, and I just did not want to give him Gizzard off because he's also a pain to deal with, especially if he's 6 stars. Um, and for some odd reason, well, I think it's because he or she picked Lancer tank, so ban my D-Lit and my Reen, the swords, which makes sense, which then gave me the opportunity to actually hit Iris again. Pretty straightforward bans. I see he picked Angelica, and what's going through in my mind at that time is there, well, she does a fraction buff, but she can also remove the soldiers of Aryan Rod so that she can immediately act twice with 2 double AoE. So I'm fully aware of that. So ended up with very interesting pick bans here. So tank to bring for buff, and for mobility buff as well. Aryan Rod obviously is going to be the main attacker dealing against my Horselandius. I mean, basically, if you look at this, is 3 buffer support, right? Most likely a teleport here, the 3C, remove the soldiers from Aryan Rod. So, I already have a general idea of what I'm going to be facing against. So when I'm looking at when I was building my team, I definitely is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to have my Ares as a threat to see if I can manipulate the positioning. I do have Liana for, again, in case I need to shift my characters around. And then I do have Rachel as a heal, and also quite strong against Aryan Rod, because most Aryan Rods are very weak against magic. And then, if anything, also have Yusuke for backup to deal with them. Keep in mind that if you look at their composition, they do not have a gospel as well. So if anything, if I have to deal with the tanks and 3 healers, my Yusuke will be able to handle that. Not 200% sure why he didn't pick D-Lit, but let's see how the game goes, because I don't remember exactly. So both of us move forward. I already knew what he was planning to do, that he's gonna fully buff his Aryan Rod and trying to completely dominate me using AoE. So she goes with the, and a clock on Imelda. So right off the bat, RNG's on his favor. As I was mentioning earlier, yep, remove the soldier so that he can move twice. What I did here is I try to be a little bit creative by using the Sky Archer to basically block, right? So if you look at this positioning here, I'm actually going to be able to block his, or at least I thought I could, but because he has Iris, he was able to teleport his Aryan Rod down here, and with the mobility buff from Imelda, he basically can come and completely double AoE and destroy my team. So with that in mind, I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and attack him first and see if I can get lucky. So here I go. Ares goes in. Instead of dying for no reason, I'm gonna go ahead and test my luck. Went in there, got in my AoE, and positioning actually I thought might be not too bad, but of course I don't have enough damage, and I also don't have the Reaper, so yeah, he's Aryan Rod survived. So what this means is he is gonna act next, but this is, I believe, the only reason why I think I won this game is because of my opponent's mistake here. So let's see what he or she does. So it comes in and AoE for some odd reason on my Ares and not my tank or my Rachel. Then he comes in and AoE again, but not hitting my Rachel. So if you saw the damage that he just did, he did 21k on my Landius, but you know, if he did the double AoE a little bit more in front here, which he could have absolutely done, right? So he was here. If he just moved in, let's just say here, or if he moved here, he could have completely killed off my Rachel, right? He could have went AoE once here instead of here. And if he moved forward just a little bit more, he would have, you know, hit my Rachel and possibly killed her as well. But that's, you know, thank you for making that mistake, because now it gives me the opportunity to counterattack. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attack. I know I wasn't going to do any damage, but I specifically use my holy word, right? So it will heal a friendly unit, and you know, basically now my Landis is pretty close to full. Again, I was being dumb and not bringing a designated heals on my Liana, so I had no choice but to do that. But you know, it worked out. So he retreats, and he lost his upper. Oh, so right now it's still 5-4. So he still basically have the advantage, but problem for him is he already used up both his strong AoEs. So to me, I'm not afraid, so I can go ahead and charge forward. And keep in mind that my Rachel has also already damaged his damage reduction on his Iron Rod, so that gives me opportunity to possibly snipe, since Estelle cannot guard magic. So here he is trying to block me. Both of us is kind of setting up here. Continues to buff up his group. I charge forward because I know I have to be aggressive and make sure that to somehow snipe that Iron Rod. I do have the turn advantage, so that's good. So I believe a lot of the cooldown has gone down now. 3C again on Iron Rod. This is when I realized, like, hey, you know what? I gotta be able to take her out, or I'm going to die miserably. So took my chance. You know, lucky enough, my Dark Reaper was able to do enough light damage. I clocked. So at that point, my opponent knows that no DPS against my 4. So yeah, I had a lucky win there, due to not my skills, but more on my opponent's mistake of not cleaning off my Rachel in the very beginning. So my first day of Apex has been lots of losses. I think for the most part, I have gotten all my stress out of the system. So by the end of the slot, I was able to at least secure 1 win. That's it for now. I'm gonna go on to the next one with more on my second day matches. Please share your thoughts on your game, my games, and as well as how you folks have done on your first weekend for Apex as well. Love to hear about it.